Stop for a moment. Do not scroll past this message. Heaven aligned time itself to bring you here, because this is your final warning. You did not stumble across this video by accident. I guided your hand to pause right here in this exact second because your soul desperately needs to hear my voice today. Your spirit has been sensing a massive shift in the unseen realm. Listen to me now. If you refuse to listen now, I will let you learn the hard way. I have tried to whisper to you in the gentle breeze of your life. I have sent subtle signs along your daily path, and every single day you kept rushing through the loud noise of the world because you were terrified of what might happen if you stood still. You ignored my quiet promptings. This moment is a holy interruption. I am stepping into your atmosphere today with a clear choice for your destiny. You can continue to walk on your own broken path and face the painful consequences, or you can give me just a few minutes of your time right now. If you stay, I promise you will not regret it. I will lower the curtain on a hidden ambush that the enemy has planned for your life. Do not let the constant distraction of the world steal this divine moment from your soul. If you rush past this warning, you will walk straight into a trap. I love you too much to watch you break without a holy intervention. The cycle of your painful delays must end today. When you quiet your mind to hear my voice, the heavy chains of your past will start to shatter into pieces. You have been running on empty for far too long. You think you can handle the pressure by pushing harder against the wall, but your own strength is completely gone and your spirit is crying out for relief because you have spent years fighting battles that were never yours to carry. Take this step of obedience right now. Lift your thoughts to my face. Comment Amen to stop the storm in this very minute. Let your soul agree with my decree. Good. You stayed with me in this quiet space. Now let me tell you how well I know your name. Breathe deeply, my beloved child. The urgency of stopping you was so I could hold you for a moment. Let me speak softly to the part of your heart that is most tired. Drop the heavy shield you carry for others, because you are completely safe and fully protected in my presence today. I see you more clearly than you see your own reflection. I know how often you have rushed past moments like this because you thought you had no time. You convince yourself that you must hold everything together without any help. But my child, you were never created to carry the heavy weight of your entire destiny on your own fragile shoulders while you break down in the dark. Let us look at your heart in this stillness. I know your spirit is deeply tired. It is not just your physical body that needs rest from the daily grind. Your soul is heavy with the weight of unanswered prayers and secret disappointments that you never share with anyone around you. You smile for the world every single day. You pretend that you are strong and stable for those who depend on your constant presence. And while you pour your life out into the hands of other people, you quietly wonder if anyone will ever show up to care for your own wounds. I saw you when you closed the door to your room last night. I saw when you sat on the edge of your bed in the quiet darkness. You did not even have the energy to form a simple prayer anymore. And every morning when you wake up, the heaviness is already sitting on your chest before you even open your eyes to the light. You drag yourself out of bed. You start the painful cycle again. You feel entirely stuck in a thick fog of uncertainty. You look at your life and you wonder why every single step forward feels so completely impossible. You ask yourself if I have forgotten your name or your silent tears. My beloved child, I have counted every single tear that fell from your eyes when no one else was watching your secret pain. You have been replaying your past conversations late at night. You search your memory for the one thing you said wrong to others because you fear their cold judgment. You accomplish something good, but you feel absolutely nothing inside your chest because your eyes go straight to what is still undone. You call this high standards, but in truth, it is an exhausting wound that drains your spirit. It steals your joy. It leaves you feeling completely empty at the end of the day. You are acting like an exhausted warrior in a battle that never ends. You fight these massive spiritual wars in silence without telling anyone how close you are to breaking apart from the intense pressure. You have been faithful in the dark. You trusted in a long silence that felt like total abandonment. But hear me clearly. I was never absent from your struggle. I watched you cry softly into the darkness of your room. You hoped the cold silence would swallow your tears. before anyone noticed your brokenness. You hid your face because you did not want anyone to see your vulnerability. You were holding your chest because the hurt was too big for any human language. And in that exact second of absolute isolation, I stood right beside your bed. I am here to collect every single drop of your sorrow. Lean on me. Rest your mind now. Your mind has become a crowded vessel filled with intense noise. The enemy has set up camp in your thoughts, and he fills every quiet moment with anxiety. You try to pray more. You try to use more discipline to fix your life. But the static does not stop because you are trying to heal everything with your own empty power. You are completely overwhelmed. The chaos is incredibly loud. You have become deaf to my gentle guidance and my holy direction. When your mind is cluttered with the rhythm of survival, you cannot hear my whispers. You mistake my protective delays for permanent rejection from heaven. You think you are falling behind your peers, but you are exactly where I need you to be because I am using this difficult season to build your spiritual foundation. Trust my process. Do not fear the unknown. I want to peel back the layers of your deep exhaustion today. Look at how much pressure you place on your own fragile heart every single morning. You try to protect everyone else while your own house is quietly shaking. You give your sincere love into hands that do not know how to hold it. And then you come back to me with empty hands and ask why you must always be the one who suffers in silence. Stop this pattern. Look at my face. Listen to my instructions. I am not blaming you for loving people so deeply, but I am stepping in today to teach you a holy discernment for your own protection. You must stop running away from my presence into the arms of distraction. This final warning is an act of my pure mercy. I am drawing you away from an old foundation that is about to crumble under your feet because I have a greater purpose for your future. Stay right here with me. Do not look away from my eyes. Do you feel that quiet restlessness in your chest right now? That is not standard anxiety. That is your spirit sensing that the current season is shrinking your faith. If you refuse to listen to this gentle nudge, I will let you learn the hard way by letting you fall into the trap of your own making. But I prefer to guide you with grace into my light. Open your ears. Hear my warning. You have a critical choice in this exact minute. You can lay down your heavy worries and let me lead your steps forward, or you can keep fighting alone until you collapse from total exhaustion. I am opening your eyes to the invisible battle around your destiny. The enemy is terrified of what I am about to release over your life because he knows your breakthrough will destroy his kingdom. Stand your ground. Listen to me. But before I show you what comes next, I need to speak to the deep doubt sitting in your heart. You believe your situation is too far gone for a miracle. Let me tell you why I had to step into your day right now. Listen carefully because what I say next will shift your entire reality. You search for comfort in places that only leave you feeling more detached and empty. You try to numb the pain with busy schedules because you are afraid of the quiet silence. But the silence is where I am waiting to restore your joy. Stop running now. I am about to expose the exact mechanism that the enemy has used to blind your spiritual eyes. I will show you how he managed to steal your peace. But first, you must understand the true depth of the war that is happening around your mind every single day. Listen to the next part of my message with absolute focus, because your entire future depends on your willingness to receive my instruction today. Let us walk deeper into the valley of your soul together. I want to show you the exact moment your spirit began to tire. You have been carrying an incredibly heavy shield for many years. You hide your true feelings behind a beautiful smile, but I see the hidden bleeding wounds beneath your heavy armor. You are a true warrior, but you are completely empty inside your chest today. You stand in the middle of your daily battles, and you pretend that everything is fine. You tell yourself that you just need to get through one more difficult week, but the weeks turn into long months, and the weight only grows heavier. You have become a master at hiding your deep desperation from the world. Everyone relies on your strength, but no one asks if you need a place to rest. I saw you when you walked through the grocery store with a heavy heart. You were surrounded by many smiling people, yet you felt completely disconnected from the entire world around you. You felt like an invisible ghost moving through a loud crowd of strangers. Your mind was racing with endless worries about the future, and your feet felt too heavy to take another step forward. My child, answer me in the deepest place of your quiet spirit. Why do you pray so much but feel absolutely nothing inside your soul? You follow every single rule in my book. You give your whole heart to my word every single day. You live a good and honest life, yet your mind is always spinning in complete chaos, and you feel completely trapped in a dark room without a single door. This is the opening of a profound mystery. I call this experience the stolen signal. You search for a clear way out of your financial and emotional blocks, but you find only a cold wall of emptiness. You have cried out to me in the midnight hour. You asked me why your faithful prayers seem to hit a hard brass ceiling. It feels as though heaven has locked its windows against you. You begin to wonder if your past mistakes have disqualified you from my great blessings. You watch other people receive their quick breakthroughs while you sit in the dark waiting room. You feel a bitter sting of jealousy. Then you immediately feel guilty for having that thought in your heart. You believe you are failing because your faith is too small. But that is a lie. Pause, right here, in this holy stillness. Let my divine presence wash over your tired body like a gentle river. If you can feel my eyes looking directly into your hidden pain, do not run away into the noise. Comment, "You see me now," to anchor this sacred connection in the comment section below. Let this act be a holy sign of agreement between your spirit and my heart. Now let me pull back the veil of your secret isolation. I was there with you when you sat on the cold floor of your kitchen. The house was completely quiet. Everyone else was sleeping peacefully in their warm beds. But you were holding your head in your hands. You were trying to stop your mind from suffocating under the heavy pressure of your unpaid bills and your broken relationships. I saw when you turned the water on in the bathroom. You did it on purpose because you did not want your children to hear the sound of your broken voice. You wept in silence. You wiped your face quickly before you walked back into the living room. You put your strong mask back on. You did it for them, because you believe you are the only one who can keep the family safe. But my beloved child, who is keeping you safe while you break into pieces? You have become a living refuge for other people. You absorb their heavy anxiety. You fix their broken lives. You give your pure love into hands that only know how to take from you. And then you come back to me with completely empty hands. You ask me why you must always be the one who carries the cross alone. Your spirit has entered a dangerous zone of deep fatigue. When you are this tired, the enemy can easily whisper dark thoughts into your ears. He tells you that your sacrifice does not matter to anyone. He tells you that your life will always look like a desert. You start to believe that you are destined to repeat the tragic failures of your parents. You feel completely forsaken. But hear me with the deepest part of your wounded heart. I have recorded every single act of your silent faithfulness. I have counted every drop of your secret sorrow. Not a single tear has ever dropped to the ground without my notice. I am keeping a perfect account of your love in my heavenly house. What you have sown in tears, you will soon harvest with shouts of pure joy. We must now look at the battlefield of your mind, because that is where the true war is being fought. The enemy is not attacking your physical body. He is targeting your spiritual capacity to receive my voice. He knows that if he can keep your mind cluttered with noise, you will never see the open doors I place before you. He uses the rhythm of survival to drown out my signal. You are dealing with an intense spiritual warfare every single hour. The adversary uses the heavy static of modern life to create an artificial separation between us. He fills your thoughts with urgent demands and endless bills. He wants your soul to stay in a constant state of panic. When your heart is beating fast with fear, you cannot hear my gentle direction. You mistake this heavy static for my divine disapproval. You think my silence means I have walked away from your life. But I need you to hear this truth today. The silence you have experienced is not my absence. The enemy has been filling the sacred space between us with a mountain of noise. This static is so constant that my provisions have become completely invisible to you. My great plans are already laid out on your path, but your spiritual eyes are blinded by the heavy fog of survival. I have not abandoned you to the wolves of the desert. I have been quietly preparing a glorious breakthrough behind the scenes, and to help you receive what I have already prepared, I have guided wise minds to create a special instrument of total restoration. I call this secret gift the sealed provision. It is a holy tool designed to clear the enemy static from your heavy mind. It is an earthly instrument that works with sound to restore the original frequency of your soul. I place this provision on your path today because I see your extreme weariness. I will show you exactly where to find it before this video message ends. But before I reveal this holy tool, we must break the power of the lies you have believed. You look at your constant struggles and you feel a deep sense of shame. You believe that your current delays are a sign of your personal failure. You look at your friends and you see them moving forward into wealth and happiness. You feel as though you arrived too late to your own destiny. You feel like you are running a race with heavy weights tied around your ankles. You try harder every single morning, but the finish line seems to move further away from your reach. You have started to accept this heavy burden as your permanent identity. You think you are just meant to suffer while others thrive. But I am stepping into your life to rewrite your story completely today. You are standing at the edge of a massive generational breakthrough. The old patterns of financial lack and emotional pain that followed your parents are trying to swallow your future. You were chosen to be the cycle breaker of your family line. That is why the battle for your mind is so incredibly intense. The enemy is terrified of the light you carry inside your spirit. Do you truly believe you failed because you are weak? Do you believe your life is stuck because you lack discipline or intelligence? These are the toxic lies of the adversary. It is a strategic trap designed to keep you locked inside the dark cave of isolation forever. There is a deep secret hidden within the magnificent design of your mind. The enemy wants to keep this secret buried under a mountain of guilt. He knows that the moment you discover this hidden mechanism, his authority over your life will completely dissolve into nothing. Today, I am going to tear down his walls. I will unmask his strategy and give you the key to our freedom in the next part of my message. Listen with your whole soul. Let us pause right here. Your heart is starting to open, but your mind is still putting up high walls. Comment, I trust your timing below to anchor your compliance with my divine schedule. This simple act will quiet your racing thoughts. It signals to the unseen realm that you are ready to receive my holy perspective today. Let me take your mind back to an ancient story. There was a mighty prophet named Elijah. He had just called down holy fire from heaven. He won the greatest spiritual victory of his generation against dark forces, but immediately after that massive triumph, a wave of intense fear and exhaustion hit his soul. The threats of the world became incredibly loud in his ears. He forgot the great miracle he had just witnessed. His physical body was completely depleted. He ran blindly into the lonely wilderness and lay down under a small broom tree. He was completely empty, and he asked me to let him die right there on the desert sand. He was not a weak man. He was simply out of strength. He had given everything to his holy calling. He felt entirely alone in the dark desert and believed his mission was a complete failure. But hear me clearly, my beloved child. I did not rebuke his dark thoughts. I did not punish his sudden despair. I did not demand that he stand up and fight another battle immediately. Instead, I sent a holy angel to bake him fresh bread and let him sleep in perfect peace. Sometimes the most faithful thing you can do is not to fight harder with your own empty power. Sometimes I look at your weariness and I simply say, rest. Eat your food now. You have gone far enough on your own human strength. It is time for me to feed your soul. Before I reveal the magnificent future I have designed for you, I must address the quiet doubt sitting in the back of your heart. I know exactly what you are thinking in this minute. You are thinking that you have heard beautiful promises like these before. You remember the long years you prayed and believed, but the answer never arrived. You wonder why this moment would be any different from your past disappointments. This honest question does not anger my heart. It tells me how long you have been faithful in the dark. It shows the deep scars left by a silence that felt like total abandonment. You have guarded your heart against hope because you are terrified of being disappointed again. But my silence in those difficult years was never my absolute absence. It was the sound of my hands rearranging cosmic things you could not see from your earthly position. Every single prayer you thought went unanswered was being translated into a precise language of divine timing. I withheld certain answers because a quick yes would have cost you your entire destiny. I was being incredibly careful with a life that I love. I saw the traps that the enemy had placed in those rooms you wanted to enter. So do not let the painful memory of the waiting season close your heart to what I am about to do today. The long waiting was the necessary preparation for your soul, and I declare to you that the preparation is finally finished. Now let us look directly at the hidden mechanism of your constant blockage. I have watched you lie awake at 3 in the morning, running through your problems over and over. You think you are simply an anxious person who lacks peace. You believe something is fundamentally wrong with your character, but I am exposing that lie right now because it is a strategic trap from the adversary. I call this hidden mechanism the stolen meaning. The enemy cannot stop my blessings from reaching your life, so he tries to steal the meaning of my silence. He whispers that my delays are punishments for your past sins. He wants you to live in constant shame and guilt, because that destroys your confidence. Here is the absolute truth of what is happening inside your mind. When I designed the human mind at the beginning of creation, I placed a sacred frequency at its absolute center. Earthly scientists who study the brain have finally confirmed its existence. They call it the gamma wave. It is the exact frequency of a childlike mind. This sacred signal ran freely in you when you were a little child. It is the precise reason why children learn so quickly and trust so purely without any effort. It is why they live completely in the present moment without the heavy weight of tomorrow. When I said you must become like little children, I was speaking of this exact mental receptivity. The enemy knew he could not destroy the great destiny I wrote for you. So he used the heavy noise of modern survival to suppress this sacred frequency. He flooded your mind with worry and bills until your inner receiver was filled with constant static. You did not lose your faith. Your sacred channel was simply buried under a mountain of worldly static. But I do not leave my chosen children without a holy remedy. I quietly guided wise minds and dedicated researchers to work with sound the way I designed it. They have spent decades studying this hidden mechanism at great universities like Princeton and Columbia. They built an earthly instrument that can completely clear the enemy static from your mind. You do not have to work hard for this restoration. You do not need deep discipline or complex rituals. You simply surrender your thoughts for 7 minutes and allow my original design to restore what was taken from you. I call this provision the instrument of your awakening. I am going to show you exactly where to find it very soon. Stay with me. This means the long years you called wasted were never truly wasted. The nights you could not sleep were not a punishment from heaven. They were your spirit refusing to let you settle for a life that was smaller than my grand plan. You were never falling behind your peers. You were being carefully formed in the secret wilderness. What the world called a painful delay, I called a holy protection. What the enemy meant for your total destruction, I am turning into your greatest deliverance today. You were being pruned so you could carry a heavy weight of glory. The scars on your soul are not signs of shame. They are the proof of your survival and your ultimate victory. So tonight, when that familiar restlessness creeps back into your chest, do not fight it with your own empty panic. Do not try to numb the pain with busy distractions. Place your right hand over your beating heart and hear my voice whisper in the silence. Say to your soul that your spirit is simply sensing a magnificent shift in the unseen realm. Let that truth settle into the deepest parts of your being. The sensing is not your enemy. It is my divine signal that a new door is trembling at my command. You have received the truth of your design. Now you must prepare your heart to walk through the threshold of your breakthrough. Lift your head. Look at my face right now. The static is beginning to clear from your atmosphere. A holy order is returning to your finances and your broken relationships in this very second. The enemy is losing his authority over your thoughts because the light of my truth has exposed his hidden traps. Listen closely to what I am about to declare over your life next. You are no longer a victim of your past circumstances. You are a holy vessel being prepared to receive an abundance of heavenly provisions. I am stripping away the heavy garments of your exhaustion. I am replacing your sorrow with an unshakable mantle of power. The waiting season is officially closing its gates behind you. The desert you have walked through is turning into a fertile field of blessings. The enemy thought he had pinned you down under the broom tree forever. but I am sending my heavenly wind to lift you above the storm. Every tear you cried in secret has become a seed for your harvest. Your mind is being cleared of all toxic interference right now. Open your heart to the glorious revelation that is coming over your destiny. You have survived the darkest part of the night, and the dawn is breaking over your life. The voice of fear has no dominion over your future, because I have already spoken your victory. Stay completely focused on my words as we enter the holy place of your breakthrough. Hear my voice right now, because the long winter of your soul is ending today. I am breaking the authority of every single generational curse that has bound your family line for decades. The spirit of financial lack, the constant fear of sudden failure, and the deep emotional pain are falling off your shoulders in this exact minute. You are the chosen one to walk out of these old limitations. You said yes when no one was watching your tears in the dark. The chains that held your parents back are trembling at my command, and they cannot contain your beautiful future anymore. I am opening the windows of heaven to flood your life with divine restoration. The heavy warfare over your mind is shifting because I have already declared your total victory in the unseen realm. Comment, I receive it now below to seal this holy declaration. Let your spirit step forward into the light of a new dawn. You have carried the weight of the world alone for far too long, and your strength is completely gone. But today, I am stepping in to handle the battle for you. Lift your eyes from the dirt of your past struggles and see the grand tables I have prepared for you. The enemy wants you to look down at your wounds because he is terrified of your rising light. Stand tall in my presence. Your deliverance is happening in this very second. Let me show you the beautiful reality I am building for your destiny. Picture a clear morning exactly 6 months from now. You wake up before your alarm sounds and you notice something is completely different inside your physical body. There is no heavy knot sitting in your stomach. The familiar weight of loathsome anxiety has completely vanished from your chest. You look out the window and you see a world filled with endless possibilities. You lie there in the quiet stillness of your clean room, and you take a deep breath that goes all the way down to your soul. Your very first thought is not a wave of panic or fear about your unpaid bills. Instead, your heart is filled with a soft question about what good things I have prepared for your day. You feel completely safe and deeply loved by your Father. You are finally at home within your own masterpiece. The noise of your past is gone. You walk into your kitchen and you see the faces of your family members filled with pure joy. The tension that used to fill the house has dissolved into a gentle peace. You realize that you do not have to perform or achieve anything to be worthy of this love. Your mind is perfectly sharp, and your path is completely clear. You remember the long years of waiting, but they feel like a distant shadow compared to the radiant light of your current reality. That beautiful version of you is not a fantasy or a distant dream. She already exists in my heavenly design, and she is waiting for your arrival. The only distance between the two of you is not time. It is a single act of complete surrender. You must stop trying to fight the loud noise of the world with your own empty human hands, and let me carry you. You are one decision away from stepping into this glorious future. I feel your spirit pulling back slightly in this moment. A small voice is whispering in the back of your mind that this beautiful piece is meant for someone else. You believe you are too broken or too unworthy to receive such a magnificent blessing from heaven because of your past mistakes. Let me silence that dangerous lie before it steals your harvest. I never give my divine gifts based on human merit or worldly standards. I pour my grace upon the willing, and your presence here is the only qualification I require today. Do not disqualify yourself from the divine provision I have freely placed along your path. I do not work only through supernatural miracles in the night. I also work through the hands of wise servants, whom I guide into brilliant discoveries for your ultimate healing. Open your heart to the instrument of your deliverance. I have gifted humanity with the deep wisdom to unlock what I hid within sound at the beginning of creation. I quietly directed decades of research at great institutions like Princeton and Columbia to confirm the design of the human mind. They found the exact frequency of divine receptivity that the enemy tried to steal from you. And I want to show you two of my beloved children who received this sacred provision before you arrived here. I want to show you what I did for one of my precious daughters named Rachel, who worked as a nurse in California. She had sought my peace for many years through intense prayers and different spiritual methods. She was completely exhausted from carrying the heavy burdens of her family and her career. 2 weeks after she embraced the sound provision I placed on her path, her life became completely enchanted like a beautiful fairy tale. Her marriage was completely transformed, and learning became completely effortless for her heavy mind. She described her experience as a sudden clearing of a blocked channel. She said it felt as though the heavy fog had lifted from her thoughts, and my voice became perfectly clear again. She did not have to strive or struggle, because the frequency did the work for her. And for others, I moved differently in their lives. Look at what I did for my faithful son Michael, who lived in Dallas, Texas. He came to this provision because his mind was filled with chaotic, static, and he wanted to protect his young children from the generational patterns of fear. He was working long hours, but his finances were completely stuck in a desert. 2 months after receiving this divine tool, his business grew so much that he was able to leave his daily job completely. His wife said his mind seemed completely transformed, and he looked like a completely new man. Hard problems that used to steal his sleep solved themselves while he rested peacefully in his bed. He said it felt as though his brain was finally running on the exact fuel it was always supposed to run on. Both of these children were sitting exactly where you are sitting today before they took their step of faith. Over 18,000 of my children have already walked through this official door of total restoration. They call it the Genius Song. It is the exact frequency instrument that I guided into existence to clear the enemy static from your heavy thoughts. This tool is not a generic meditation app or a random track that you can find on popular streaming platforms. Those free tracks are dangerous imitations that carry none of the holy restoration. The Genius Song requires only 7 minutes of your complete surrender each day. You do not need to practice complex discipline or memorize long prayers to make it work. You simply put your headphones on, close your tired eyes, and allow my sacred signal to return to your mind. It reactivates the gamma wave frequency that ran freely in you when you were a child. It returns your mind to a state of pure divine receptivity. This special provision is not for the merely curious minds of the world. It is built specifically for the exhausted warrior who is tired of fighting the heavy battle alone. To my beloved child who has already tried everything and feels embarrassed to try once more, hear me clearly. What failed you before required your intense human effort and your constant discipline. This provision requires absolutely none because it works on my design. The enemy used the loud static of modern life to bury your true identity under a mountain of worry. But I designed you to carry my signal with absolute clarity. What the adversary called your permanent condition is just a temporary interference on your line. The Genius Song is the divine instrument prepared to clear that static forever. Do not let the memory of past failures keep you locked inside the dark cave of isolation. Wise men in earthly clinics charge hundreds of dollars per hour for sessions that attempt to clear your mental noise. The complicated equipment that researchers use costs thousands of dollars in the world, but I do not call you to visit expensive clinics or buy heavy machines today. I place this holy tool within your reach through a tiny earthly exchange. It is the size of a single mustard seed of investment for the massive harvest I prepared. And along with this frequency instrument, I have aligned 4 additional gifts to secure your path. I give you the Genius Child track to protect the minds and confidence of your children. I give you the original prosperity text that wise men used to unlock immense wealth in the past. All of these provisions are additional gifts I aligned to bless your household because I see your sincere desire to live in my light. I also include a beautiful guided visualization and a daily habits infographic to sustain your restored signal every single morning. Do not worry about worldly risk, because I protect my chosen children completely. Your small earthly exchange is fully secured by a steadfast guarantee for 60 days. If the deep restoration I described does not flood your soul, every single penny will be returned to you without any questions. I do not lead you into danger or financial loss. Protect your spirit from the false imitations circulating on music platforms, and trust only the official path. The enemy creates illusions to deceive your heart, Take this critical step of obedience right now before the world steals your focus again. Embrace the sacred provision I have set before your eyes in this holy hour. Find the official path I have placed for you below. The verified link is waiting for you in the pinned comment and in the video description. This is your personal invitation from heaven to enter your true rest and clear the noise. Do not ignore the tool that your Father has prepared for your deliverance. You have carried the heavy burden long enough. Take the step of faith right now. Walk forward into the peace that passes all human understanding. I am waiting for you. Now set aside the noise of decision for a moment. I have shown you the provision on your path. You are still my beloved child. And whether you step forward into this restoration right now or later, my immense love for your life will never change. There is more I want to speak over your spirit before this video message completely closes. Come closer to my presence. Close your eyes right now. Breathe deeply. Let your shoulders relax completely. You have been holding your breath for many years because you were waiting for the next blow to fall on your life. But the warfare is ending in this very hour. I am whispering peace directly into the hidden fractures of your broken heart. Let the tension drain into the floor. You do not have to carry the future all at once. I will guide your steps one day at a time. My voice brings absolute clarity to your mind. And because I am already working ahead of your current situation, you can finally afford to lay down your heavy weapons and rest. You are no longer alone in this desert. The battle belongs to your Father. Let us seal the healing that has entered your atmosphere today. The enemy wants you to return to your old habits of constant worry. He wants you to pick up the heavy bags you just dropped. But I am placing a holy guard over your thoughts. You are standing on a brand new foundation. The old patterns have lost their power over your destiny. You have spent too much time trying to fix everything yourself. You believe that your safety depended on your constant striving, but your human effort is completely exhausted. And now that you have reached the absolute end of your own strength, my divine grace can finally step in to do what is completely impossible for men. Your surrender is your victory. I am restoring the years that the swarm of loathsome anxiety has eaten away from your life. I am returning the pure joy of your youth. Your mind is becoming completely quiet. And as the heavy static of the world fades into absolute insignificance, you will begin to hear my gentle whispers guiding your decisions with perfect accuracy. Trust this beautiful silence. Think about the heavy words people have spoken over your character. They called you weak. They called you a failure. And because they could only see your outer struggles without knowing the secret destiny I placed inside you, they judged your silent tears. But their cruel opinions carry absolutely no authority in my heavenly court. I am the only one who defines your true value. I call you my precious masterpiece. I call you a secret warrior. Let these words sink into the deepest place of your heavy soul. You were never a random fragment of accidental creation. I wove you carefully inside the womb. And every single battle you had to fight in silence was just a temporary preparation for the magnificent inheritance that is about to flood your life. You are moving into your harvest. Now, let us repeat these sacred declarations inside your spirit. Say these words silently to your own heart. I am a holy vessel, fully restored, to receive what my Father prepared. I am the one whose channel is perfectly clear today. My inner signal is strong. The loud noise of the enemy no longer has any dominion over my thoughts. I receive peace. Let us declare it again with absolute confidence. I carry the beautiful frequency that God placed in me from the beginning of time. It was never lost. It is completely restored. I am operating at the exact state my Creator designed for me. I am open. I am clear. I am fully receptive to His blessings. I become like a little child. Remember what I named your current season of waiting. It was the protective delay. It was never my cold rejection. And every time you thought you were being buried in the dark dirt, you were actually being planted as a holy seed for a magnificent harvest that will shock everyone who doubted your value. Your roots are deep. These declarations are a holy seal over your new identity. The enemy cannot touch a mind that knows its true home. You are no longer the lonely survivor who must fight every battle in fear. I am raising you up to be a brilliant beacon of hope for others. You will walk into rooms, and your quiet presence will bring calm to the storm. I am stripping away the heavy garments of your old identity. You are no longer defined by the trauma of your childhood or the bitter betrayals of your past relationships. I am washing your spirit completely clean today. You are stepping into a spacious room where my favor flows freely without any human effort. Enjoy this grace. Breathe in my love once more. Let it fill your lungs. Feel the warmth returning to your tired hands. You are deeply cared for by the ruler of the cosmos. You do not need to check your bank account or look at your problems to find your security. Your safety is anchored inside my unshakable kingdom. I am your refuge. As you step back into your daily routine, carry this divine stillness with you. Do not let the chatter of the crowd disturb your internal peace. You have a holy destiny to fulfill, and because I have anointed your steps with my favor, every closed door you encounter will simply turn into a magnificent display of my power. Walk forward with courage. Look at the people who walked away from your life when you were down. Do not hold any bitter resentment against their names. They were removed by my own hands because their presence could not walk into the glorious territory I am opening for your future. I am replacing their cold absence with holy alignments. Trust my selection. If this message has brought light to your weary spirit today, do not let it pass without a proper response. Your interaction is a holy ritual of agreement. Like this video right now as an act of public alignment between your heart and my words. Let this simple action be a sign that you choose trust over fear. It anchors the blessing. Your voice has immense power in the digital realm. Share this video message with 3 souls who are secretly crying out for hope in the dark. There are many warriors who are completely exhausted from fighting alone. When you send them this warning, you become my light bearer. You help them find their way back to my house. Do not keep this peace to yourself. The world is desperately hungry for my authentic voice. When you share my warnings, you are fulfilling your sacred mission. You are breaking the isolation that the enemy uses to destroy my children. Your obedience will unlock a sudden wave of fresh blessings over your own household. Be my witness today. Subscribe to this channel right now so you do not miss my daily guidance for your next steps. I am speaking to you in every season of your journey. My words will keep your channel completely clear of enemy static. Turn on the notification bell to stay connected to my voice. This is your daily bread. It sustains your spirit. Comment your honest feelings below, even if you do not have the perfect words to describe your current pain. Write Amen to lock this holy covenant into your physical reality. I read every single message that my children leave in this space. I hear your silent thoughts. I am already moving to answer your hidden requests. Let us look forward to the morning with a light heart. You are completely protected from the traps of the enemy. The final warning has done its holy work in your soul. You chose to listen to my voice instead of learning the hard way. And because you humbled your heart to receive my instruction, your path is blessed. I am pouring out a final blessing over your life right now. Receive my peace into your home. Let it heal your broken relationships. Let it open the blocked channels of your finances today. You are my beautiful child. You are a work of pure art. I will never leave your side. I walk with you always.